is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Junior's World of Soul. I am back with a special video this week. I'm so excited to do this video, y'all. I'm so excited because it's a whole different genre. It's different. Y'all know I'm normally talking about R&B, soul, even hip-hop, gospel, but I've never talked about pop and rock. So this one is going to be fun. It's going to be fun. It's going to take you back. But, yeah, let's get into it. This video is special because I dedicate this to my sister Shelly. Hey, Shelly, what's going on? And one thing about me and Shelly, we can discuss music from, like, the 80s and the 90s. We can discuss, like, all day. It was like one day we was on the phone for, like, literally 2.5 hours just talking about, 80s and 90s music and the artists and the way the music was back then. And it's just a beautiful thing. So, we were talking about this song, actually, and it kind of took us somewhere, and give y'all what we was discussing, and it goes a little something like this. Yeah! Don't disturb this groove. Yeah. So we were talking about that song, and she was like, Junior, I know you love soul music, and I know that's like your niche and what you love to talk about. But she was like, yo, won't you talk about like the 80s and do like a pop rock video of the 80s? And she was like, you could do that. And I was like, my musical teacher, which is my mother, has put me on the 80s pop and rock music. So I was like, you know what? That'll be dope. That will really be dope to do a video because she gave me a little bit of the 80s rock, and then I took it a little step further when I started listening to Nirvana, and then I started listening to AC/DC, a little bit Aerosmith, Green Day, Creed, Hoobastank. It's so many others that I started listening to, and my mom was like, who is this child? But I'm like, wait a minute, you did it first, so how you gonna be bugging over me because I'm sitting here listening to that, rock like that? And I was like, hey, Ma, it's your fault. What you want me to do? But I said, you know what, Shelly? I got you. So this video, I am going to talk about my top 10 pop rock song of the 80s. And Shelly, this video is for you. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy my top 10. Don't hate on my top 10. You know what I'm saying? Because it may be a little different. But, hey, I hope you guys enjoy it as well. Because, it's going to take y'all back. It's going to take y'all back. So let's get it started. Starting with number 10 is by Span U Ballet's True. And it goes a little something like this. Woo! Woo! Ha ha ha! Hey, that joint rocks, man. But the reason why this is my number 10 song, and I gotta give y'all a little history. Y'all know how I do. I give y'all history of a song and how I was introduced to it, because actually I was introduced to this song by Queen Pen's album My Melody. That was the first hip hop album I've ever brought. My mom gave me the money because she actually loved a party and a party. And she was from Brooklyn. So my mom gave me the money and sent me into the store to go get Queen's Pen, My Melody. And that was actually September. It was actually this month in 1997. My mom sent me in the store to make me buy Queen Pen's My Melody. And we was playing the album, and it was rocking. And then it got to this song, and I was like, hold up, I know I heard this song before. And it was just like, I was like, oh. I was like, Ma, we heard this song before. What is it? Where is this from? And she was like, yeah, I know it's an 80s song, but I don't know the artist. And I was like, wow, Teddy Riley really turned a pop rock song and added a beat to it and made it funky, but still kept the original in there. And I was like, yo. So I'm always the type to look at the credits and always look back into the writing credits to see what the sample was used or who was the writer and things like that. That's just me. I like to look at the arrangement and all that good stuff. I'm crazy like that. So when I get the album, the first thing I'm doing is who arranged this, who did this, what sampled this, and all that. So then when I had that, I was like, oh. And I was like, when I got home and I saw it, I was like, oh, Spandex Ballet. Who the heck is that? And then when I heard the song, I was like, oh, that's the song. I know I heard it before, but I just didn't know who the artist was. But Queen Pen's version is dope, and I love her version as well, and I still play it. But to give y'all a sample of her version, it goes a little something like this. And here we go. Hey, I know this much is true. Like he used that beat. I was like, yo, that's crazy. But I love that song, and that's why I had to figure I had to start this top 10 80s list with that. And I'm not gonna end with her version. I gotta end with his, with their version that on this list. And here we go. Let's rock a little bit, y'all. I know this much is true. And then, you know what? Sidebar, I thought I was going to leave with that song, but actually, the hip-hop heads that's watching this, also, I think is one of my favorite hip-hop songs of all time. I love the song, and they also use the sample of this song, and I might as well just play it so y'all can know what it is, and it goes a little something like this. Set adrift of memory, bliss of you, yeah! Yo, one of my favorite hip-hop joints of all time, but I had to start off the number 10 with I hope I'm pronouncing the name right, Spandau Ballet is True. That's the number 10. Number 9 is from Rick Springfield's Jesse's Girl. Now, give y'all a little sample of Jesse's Girl, and here we go. Hey, so my history of this song is actually my grandmother worked for AT&T for 30 years, and a lot of times she used to take me to her job or whatever, and in Jersey, in some of these buildings, y'all know how that is, where you can't get all these stations. And the only station my grandmother could get in New Jersey was 98.3. It was called Magic 98.3. And that was the only station she could get. So it was soft rock and adult contemporary, and that was it. Like, no soul like that. So when Jesse's Girl came on, I remember asking my grandma, I was like, Grandma, who is that? Because I just kept hearing, Jesse's Girl, Jesse's Girl. That's all I'm hearing. I'm like, Grandma, who is that? And she looking at me, she was like, oh, I don't know. I just know it's old. Now, I should have known better, because if it ain't gospel, my grandma don't know the artist, she don't know the song, she don't know nothing. So she was the wrong person to ask. So I knew when I got home, I kept that in the back of my mind. I said, Jesse's Girl, Jesse's Girl. So when I got home and typed it in the computer, I found out that it was Rick Springfield. And I love the song. Like, it's so 80s. It's so dope, though. And that's why I just like it. It just has that rock beat in the back, and it's so catchy. I wish that I have Jesse's Girl. I wish that I have Jesse's Girl. I find another woman like that. Jesse's girl. Like, it's just so 80s and so rock. That's why I like it. And, you know, what brought me to this song as well, I just went on my first cruise maybe about basically a year ago. And they did like an 80s concert. And when this song came on, I got up like going crazy. I wish that I had Jesse's girl. I was in there rocking. And my friends was looking at me like I'm crazy. But Shelly knew where I was coming from because she knew the song. So it was good. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, a lot of people, black people, I'm going to say it, was looking at me like, you know that song? Absolutely. I knew the song. So, you know, I love that song. And that's why I had to put it in at number 9. Number 8 is by one of my mom's favorite artists, Pat Benatar. Now, as a kid, my mom used to talk about Pat Benatar a lot. She talked about it, and she talked about Love Was a Battlefield. Now, my mom is a big Pat Benatar fan. She like We Belong, Hit Me With Your Best Shot, Promises in the Dark, but I never heard Love Is a Battlefield. And Mom used to always talk about it. She used to always talk about how she was dancing in the video, and it kind of gave you a little bit of a thriller type of feel, the way Pat Benatar and her girls was dancing and all that. So I was just like, yo, I need to hear this song. My mom always talked about it but never played it, which was crazy enough. But finally, I got home from school one day, and I was watching VH1 Classic. That's 143, if you have it now on Comcast. The video came on, and I watched the video, and it was dope. The song was dope. Where are ya? Oh no, I may be saying the wrong word, but the joint it's funky, and I just love the bass line. The bass line of the song really caught me, but it was still rock, and that's what I like. You know, everybody normally goes when you talk about Pat Benatar, everybody kind of goes to Hit Me With Your Best Shot or We Belong, or people think that I Love Rock and Roll is Pat Benatar, and it's not. It's not. That's by, her name is Jet. I forgot, but it's not Pat Benatar, though. But I hate when people do that. I'm like, that's not Pat Benatar. But a lot of people don't, you know, the rockers don't really talk a lot about Love Is a Battlefield because it was kind of a crossover. It kind of had that mainstream pop appeal, but it still had that guitar playing, and I think it's dope. So, number 8 here is Love Is a Battlefield by Pat Benatar, and it goes a little something like this. And it still had that bass line to it, and that's what I liked about it. And now when the song comes on, you can't tell me and my mom nothing. Now that I do know the words, and she knows it, and you can, yo, we be in the car going crazy like, no one can, we are wrong! Love is a battlefield. Like, we go in, but like I said, the bass line is so sick. And I love it, and whoever playing the guitar, I'm not sure who it is, it's dope, and I just love it. So I'm going to go to the end and let it rock off a little bit. And here we go. Love that joint, but you just hear the bass line, it just goes so hard, and that's why this song had to be on my list. Had to do one for my mother too. So number 8, that is Pat Benatar with Love Is a Battlefield. Now, getting to our number 7, hopefully you guys grooving, y'all digging the list so far, hope y'all enjoying it, you know what I'm saying, but the next song has a little reggae flavor to it, but the original was actually soft rock. Now, it's Red Red Wine by UB40. But it was originally done by Neil Diamond in 1968, but it wasn't a big hit. It wasn't a big pop hit. I think it was like number 60 on the charts or something like that. But everybody knows UB40's version, and they add a little reggae vibe to it. But Neil Diamond, I like it. I mean, it's soft. It's very soft rock-ish, and I think I like it. But if you didn't know, here is a sample of Neil Diamond's, and it goes a little something like this. Sorry guys, y'all know how we do in these videos. Here we go. If it wants to get right. Y'all know, it acts crazy. I don't know what it's doing right now, but there we go. Do you see how soft rock, and then he red wine, like it's just so. I see why it wasn't a big hit, but I think it's okay. All right, this is my video. It is kind of corny, but I like it. I think I like it in a corny type of way. But I think everybody loves UB40's version and adds the reggae vibe to it, and everybody can dig it. And it goes a little something like this. I ain't got no wine, but I got liquor though. Red wine. So the reason why I know about this version and I know about Neil Diamond's version because again, on the station that my grandmother could only get at her job, and I think this was all in one day actually. That's when I knew I really took a liking for music, because I just started remembering a lot of stuff that I wanted to remember when I got home. And they did a double play. They played Neil Diamond's version first, and then they played UB40's version, but I didn't hear who the artist was. So as a kid, the only reggae artist I really knew was Bob Marley and Peter Tosh. So I'm like, oh, that's Bob Marley and Peter Tosh. And now I look back like, Junior, get your mind right. Learn your music. But found out it was a bluesy reggae group from Britain, and they called themselves UB40, and the song just makes you feel good. You know what I'm saying? It's just a feel-good record, and I think when everybody talks about red wine, they talk about UB40's version if you don't know Neil Diamond's version. But with that song, now there was a later song that came out maybe about 2 years ago, and it gave me that feel. And when I first heard this song, I was thinking of UB40's Red Wine, and it's Rue by Magic, and it just gives me that red wine type of vibe, because it's so smooth and it's so mellow. And it goes a little something like this. Marry that girl. And I was like, yo, now every time I listen to, you know, Rude, I have to listen to UB40's Red Wine, because it just gives me that vibe. When I went to Bahamas maybe about 3 years ago, and I put Rude on there, and I put UB40. And when I got to the Bahamas, I wanted to get into that reggae island type of feel. So I played both of that songs as soon as I got off the plane, just to get into that vibe. So yes, number 7 is UB40's Red Wine. And like I said, I ain't got no wine. I just got some liquor, but it's all good. But anyway, number 6. I think I knew this song after the first time I heard it, and when I was like 4 years old. It's that catchy. It's coming from George Michael's old Camp Wham with Wake Me Up Before You Go. This song is so damn catchy. It is. If you know, I think everybody in the world has heard this song, and it's just so freaking catchy. And you could tell, and also as a kid, it also got me because the background vocalist kind of gave me a little bit of gospel, and finding out that George Michael was heavily influenced by soul and gospel music, it made a lot of sense. So here is the number 6 with Wake Me Up Before You Go. And it goes a little something like this. And let's rock off like George Michael doing the video. Here we go. Wake me up before you go. And I'm not planning on going solo. Wake me up before you go. Hey, keep me dancing tonight. Hey, I wanna hit that high. Oh man. And you know what's so crazy? What brings back memories of that song? When I saw the video, it's mad colorful and all that. And I used to always look and my mom be like, "Ma, why is his shorts so high? Like, why are they shorts so high?" My mom was like, "Well, I guess they like to play basketball." Now, y'all know that was real shady because I didn't know what she meant then, but I clearly know what she meant now when she said he liked to play basketball. Hey. But even with all the shade being thrown, Mom liked George Michael, and I do too. He's like a little soul brother because he has that soul in him. When he was with Wham with everything She Wants and Careless Whisper, like those songs was R&B type of songs, and they crossed over. And he was so influenced by soul and R&B music, and in his album Faith, that's for sure. But Wham's Wake Me Up Before You Go is such a fun 80s pop record. It just makes you want to dance every time you hear it. And it's just so dope. So I had to put that on the list at number... I forgot what place I am at, y'all. I'm sorry. Give me a second. Oh, number 6. That's number 6 for Wake Me Up Before You Go by Wham. Come on, man. Y'all know I'm here, I'm there with the where I'll be losing it. Like, I'll be losing in these videos. I'll be so gone because sometimes I'll be vibing to the music. It be sounding so good. But I realize YouTube be acting a little funny now because now we can't play no more than like 15 seconds of the record. So I don't want to get copywritten, you know what I'm saying, and be all crazy. So, you know. But anyway, that's the number 6 joint. Wake Me Up Before You Go by Wham. Number 5. This is when I realized my mom liked another genre other than soul and gospel. Because I was going through the 45s one day home by myself, and I pulled out this record, and I pulled it out, and I was just like, Katrina Waves in the Sunshine, who the heck is this? And so I put it on, and I'm playing it, and I'm looking, I'm like, now I know my grandfather didn't buy this. I know my grandma didn't buy this. I know my Uncle Bernard didn't buy this, and I know my father did not buy this. I was like, It had to make me think, and I'm like, could it be my mom? So I started playing it. I was playing it over and over because I actually did like it. And I started playing it, and she walked in the house. And she walked in on this part I'll never forget. It doesn't feel good. Yeah, so when she walked in the house, she said, Junior, where'd you get that record from? I was like, well, I found it. I was like, Ma, you brought this rock stuff? She was like, yeah, I've been looking for this for a while. And I just looked at her, and I was like, she was like, Katrina and the Waves, they are dope. You are bugging. She was like, you can look at me all crazy all you want to, but you do like it, don't you? And I was like, yeah, I do like it. The joint is tight. So, you know, and it just gives you that 80s vibe, makes you feel like, you know, it's like one of those, that song kind of reminds me like a Madonna holiday. Like when you driving in your car on a sunny day, it just feels so good. And walking on sunshine. Wow, it doesn't feel good. Yeah. And it's just a feel-good record, and I would just never forget me pulling that out of the, you know, our crate and was like, wow, my mom likes other music, and she looking at me like, boy, I love all genres, and she does. She really, really does. My mom even on some classical tip, y'all. Like, it's real, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I had to put this on the list because I like when I was introduced to it, because I was introduced to it on my own. But then Mom was just like, yo, where'd you find that record? I've been looking for it forever. But, yeah. And I just love how she go off at the end. Katrina goes off at the end. And give y'all a little sample. It goes a little something like this. she was going off at the end. I was like, whoa, she was feeling it. But yes, I had to put that on there. And y'all could imagine me and my mom singing that now, especially when we have a couple of drinks in our hand. I'm walking on sunshine. Wow. I'm walking on sunshine. Wow. Love that joint. Love that joint. So, number 5, Walking on Sunshine by Katrina and the Waves. Number 4, again, going back to Mom's, my musical teacher again, and she was talking about this boy, Boy George. She always talked about him. I was like, Boy George, Boy George, Boy George. And she talked about it a lot, and my grandmother now says she thought my mother was crazy because Boy George was so different. He wore, you know, different color hair, and he wore blazers and these type of shoes and all this kind of stuff. And my mom liked the style. She did. Like, you know, my mom would go down to the village and get her shoes in New York and get a little blazer or whatever, and that was just her style. One thing about my mom, she's different. She's just different, and that's one thing I admire about her. She's different and don't care what nobody thinks about her style. That's just her. And Boy George was definitely different. And, you know, my mom had the buttons and all that. My grandma still talks about it to this day. She feels like she's disgusted. But, you know, that's just what it was. And it was still the 80s style. Like Madonna was doing it, and then Boy George was doing it. So everybody's style was just different, and it was just the way everything was. But my grandma just didn't like the style. She thought, why you gotta be dressing like that and all these colors and craziness, but whatever. But I remember my mom playing Karma Chameleon for me for the first time, and I'm gonna show y'all the look that I gave her. Oh man, there we go. I looked at her like she was crazy, y'all, to be honest with y'all, because it had that folk sound that I really wasn't used to. And the only kind of folk person I really knew then at that time was James Taylor. And that was the most folk I knew. So I'm sitting there like, what is this? And but I was like, then when my mom started singing it, it made me like it. And it was just like, Mom was like, come a chameleon, and she just singing, and I'm like, okay, I like it. It's a little catchy, you know what I'm saying? And then right after that, it was just, I like it. Come a chameleon, come and go, you come and go, and I just liked it, and it was dope. And ever since then, I've loved the song. I actually have Culture Club album on my computer, and I just like the song. It's so 80s, it's so dope. You know, he added a little bit of folk into it, and it's just a dope record, and that's why I had to put it on this list at number 4. Come a Chameleon by Culture Club at number 4 this list. Number 3 has to be one of my favorite songs of all time. Now, I knew the song way before I really started paying attention to it, but it was just like, I knew it. Anytime it played, you would sing along to it. But I just remember one of my favorite rappers, which is Nas, remade the song with A. Marie. And I said, whoa, yo, I remember this song. So, I'm going to give y'all a sample of what I was like, yes. Here we go. Goes a little something like this. So when I heard that, I was like, wait a minute. I know this song. Why do I know the chorus? Because I brought Stillmatic, because, you know, Nas is, you know, one of my favorite rappers. So I brought it, and I heard it, and I was just like, yo. So, of course, me, like I told y'all, I'm quick to go to the writing credits to see what this is. And then I saw that it was done by Tears for Fears. And that song just makes you want to get in your car and feel like you just ruling the world. And I have so many memories of this song because Me and one of my good friends, Tasia, in high school, used to sing this all the time when we were at lunch. And people used to look at us like we were crazy. We didn't care. We love this song, and it's one of the best songs ever. Like, it's literally on my top 10 list of best songs of all time. And it's Tears for Fears, Everybody Rules the World. And it's self-explanatory. And here we go. Love this song. Oh my God, it just makes me feel like after I record this video, I'm gonna go and blast this in the crib while I'm making my dinner. Like, for real, for real. But yo, like, this is, if you have an 80s playlist, pop playlist, Everybody Wants to Rule the World has to be part of it, period. If it's not part of your list, something is wrong. Like, this song is so dope. And yo, it's from the album, Songs from the Big Chair. Like, y'all, I would recommend y'all check that album. It's very, very, I say, social conscious with their songs, with Shout and Head Over Heels and Mother Salt. A dope album, because when it came out, it was different. It was so different, had a different sound. And that new wave, when it came, it really came. When, like, you had artists like, you know, Katrina and all the artists that I'm talking about on this list came out of the 80s and that new wave when they were running it, man. Like, they were running the pop world, and it was just dope. But this song is amazing. But like I said, if y'all want to check out Songs from a Big Chair, I recommend it. It's a dope album. But Everybody Has to Rule the World had to be on this list. If I didn't, I would have been mad at my damn self if I didn't put this song on the list. So that is my number 3 joint. Number 2, I learned from one of my favorite artists of all time, Janet Jackson. And on her album, The Velvet Rope, she did a song or a cover of Rod Stewart's Tonight's the Night. And, you know, I heard, before the album came out, people was like, she did a remake of Tonight is the Night by Rod Stewart, but I was just like, it never really dawned on me. And then I listened to it, and of course me, what did I do? I went into the album credits and started looking and was like, oh, it said, and saw it was done by Rod Stewart. And I looked at my mom and I was like, Mom, who is Rod Stewart? Like, I've heard of him, but I don't know who he is. And she was like, oh, it's some weird guy. He did Do You Think I'm Sexy? And I was just like, oh, okay. So I was like, you know what? Because my mom clearly didn't know a lot about it, and that's when it really made me go and want to know about it. If Mom didn't know about it, it's like, whoa, I got something on her. So then I went home on the computer and I clicked, so y'all remember CD Now back in the day, CD Now, and I went on there and I was just listening to like samples of his songs. And I came across Forever Young, and then I watched the video. And from that moment, like, I fell in love with that song. Like, Forever Young is just an epic record to me, and here it is. It goes a little something like this. Love that record, man. And it really is another song that makes me kind of connect to my mom, because it's like she's talking to me, and because it's like I'm always going to be her baby no matter how old I get. And you know, it's so many songs that I dedicate to her, and there's so many other songs in different genres that I dedicate to her. And that was one of the songs, and every time I think about that song, I think about her. And I just love that. And I just give y'all the part where it really, really gets where I think about my mom. And here we go. Get to it here. Here we go. And my mom tells me that all the time. Whatever road you take, I'm behind you, win or lose. And when I hear that song, it just brings me back to that. And it just brings me back to being a mama's boy. And hey, I don't care, judge me all you want to. I am a mama's boy, and I'm proud of it. So, had to get bucked for a little bit. But, yo, you know, that's why another reason why I love looking at writing credits on an album when you buy it and you see like who arranged it and the samples, because you can get introduced to a new artist that you didn't know about. So thanks to Janet, I really thank her for remaking that song and putting Rod Stewart on the album credits, because you know a lot of people don't do that these days and try to leave it off and then they end up getting busted for it. Hey Robin Thicke, what's going on, Ed Sheeran? But anyway, like I said, I really appreciate Janet for giving, you know, that credit to Rod Stewart so I was introduced to his music. And I like some of his music, to be honest with you, so I do have his greatest hits on my computer. As y'all can see, I can go right to Forever Young. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I had to put that on the list because it's kind of a sentimental song for me. So that's my number 2 with Forever Young by Rod Stewart. Number 1 is an artist I don't think any of y'all would think that would be my number 1. At first I wanted to be Tears for Fears, but no, I do actually like an 80s pop song a little better than that song. And I was introduced to him when I was like 10. And when my family moved back from South Carolina to back up north, and during that time, every morning, you know, going to a new school and then dealing with snow days again and all that, we used to listen to that every morning to kind of see what was going on in the area and all that kind of stuff. And every morning they would play Bryan Adams. And it was like every morning I would hear a song from him. It'd be like, Bryan Adams this, Bryan Adams that, Bryan Adams that. And I was just like, yo. And finally one morning I was just like, yo, I'm going to pay attention to this. And this was actually the first song by him that I actually paid attention to. And it's kind of low, so I'm going to bring it up so y'all can hear it a little bit. But it goes a little something like this. So it's you, everything I do it for you. So when I heard that song, it was like, okay, it went in the back of my mind, right? So then in 1998, Brandy released my favorite album for her, Never Say Never, and the last song on the album is she remade this song, and to give y'all a sample of it, it goes a little something like this. I do it for you. So when I heard that song, of course, me going into the album credits, looking at it, it said by Bryan Adams, Everything I Do. And I said, you know what? I'm about to go and try to buy these CDs. Now, y'all remember when BMG used to have, like, to buy 10 CDs for, like, 40 cents and some mess? I probably owe BMG so much money, for real, but I was a kid. How they gonna do? What they gonna do? They gave me the CDs. My grandma used to be like, where are you getting all these CDs from? It was only a penny. Mind you, how the hell is it a penny? And I ain't had to pay for it. So, you know, I got his greatest hits. And with all that, Bryan Adams became one of my favorite artists of all time. But on the low, though. The low. And you know, on Facebook, somebody had put like it was like a thing that they were doing, and they was asking like your favorite artist and all that, and your favorite artist that you like secret. And I finally put out there that I like Bryan Adams, and people was like, Bryan Adams? What? And I was like, yo, I like Bryan Adams. Some of my favorite songs is Do I Have to Say the Words, Can't Stop This Thing We Started, Straight from the Heart, Heat in the Night, Summer of '69, Please Forgive Me. Like, I love Bryan Adams. Like, he's dope. Like, he's so dope. He actually gives me a little bit of James Taylor, but in a rockish type of way. And I really liked him. I would love to see him live, too. That would be dope. But, But one of my favorite songs from him, that is just it, and it takes me somewhere, is his song Heaven. And that song is my #1 80s pop rock song, and it just takes me somewhere. And I knew when I heard it when I was like 10, I've loved it ever since. Like, I love a lot more of his songs, but this song just takes me somewhere, and I love the song. And here is Heaven. Come on, don't do me like this. Y'all know how to be doing this. I love that song, man. And then, you know, so when I started getting older, like, I think I was like 16 when this version came out. DJ Sammy did a fast version and also a slow version, and they used to play it on, if you're from New York and you know about Z100 and KTU, they used to play it all the time. And at first I didn't like it, because I'm like, how y'all gonna steal this song and make it a dance song? But then after a while and hearing it, I actually started to like it. So here is Sammy's version of Heaven, and it goes a little something like this. Love that joint. Love it now. But that's for one thing. When I have to listen to that version, I definitely have to listen to Brian's version. Like, Brian has the best version, so I ain't gonna leave with that. But yes, Heaven by Bryan Adams, my #1 song on the list. So that's it. That's my top 80s pop rock joint. Number 10 was Fan Do, Ballet's True. Number 9 was Rick Springfield, Jesse's Girl. 8 was Pat Benatar, Love is the Battlefield. 7 was UB40, Red Red Wine. 6 was Wham, Wake Me Up Before You Go Go. 5 was Katrina and the Wave, Walking on Sunshine. 4 was Kosher Club, Karma Chameleon. 3 was Tears for Fears, Everybody Wants to Rule the World. 2 was Rod Stewart, Forever Young. And number 1 was Bryan Adams, Heaven. So, hopefully y'all enjoy. Shelly, I hope you enjoyed my list. I hope you dug it. And since I came into the song that brought this video and made me want to do this video, and you made me do this video, but why not end it with the song that I came after the song that I came, because I came in with Bruce Springsteen, but I'm going to go out with this song. And here we go, and it goes a little something like this, y'all. But I'm going to put a little swing on it, and Shelly knows why. Here we go. Boom, 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 boom. Sexy ladies, give me another girl. Alright, y'all, I'm out. Peace. Hope y'all enjoyed it. I hope y'all enjoyed my top 80s list. And whatever is on your list, won't you put it up in the comment box. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.